Time passes by so quickly. Change happens all around us every day, whether we like it or not. Enjoy the moment while you can. One day, it will be just another memory. Not sure who actually made that quote, but this month marks the 10th anniversary of Calibre Computer Solutions. And as I reflect back upon the journey that started way back in 2004, I marvel at how quickly the years have passed and at the rapid changes in technology. Now, over the course of 10 years, many clients have asked me, how did you get into the computer business? So I thought now would be an appropriate time for me just to kind of share a brief snippet of that story with you. Back in 2004, actually it was probably the mid part of the year, I was working full-time security as a dispatcher at Toyota here in Princeton. And because I had worked with computers since I was a little kid, I really developed a lot of knowledge about how they operated, how they failed, and actually how to fix them. And so I was constantly getting phone calls from friends and families, co-workers, and even strangers saying, hey, can you help me fix my computer, whatever that problem might be. So we worked 12-hour shifts at the Toyota plant, and Dion Knight, one of my fellow crew members, spent many late-night shifts discussing our dreams, our goals, and our desires to leave the daily grind of getting out of the corporate world. Now, both of us enjoyed our jobs, except for mostly the 12-hour swing shifts that really wreaked havoc on our sleep schedule. And of course, they constantly asked us to work overtime, which nobody wanted to after working 12-hour shifts. So anyway, Dion kept prodding me to start my own computer business. He's like, you can do it, Scott. You have the knowledge, you've got the skills, just go for it. So after much brainstorming and planning, I decided to open Calibre Computer Solutions in September of 2004. It was a very part-time venture for me. I hired a couple of part-time technicians, and they handled the computer calls most of the time while I was working my full-time job. Now, over the course of the next few years, I ended up changing jobs several times. All the while, Calibre was slowly growing and expanding. Now, one of those jobs was in Evansville, and although it was a great job, I really enjoyed it, the work atmosphere, the co-workers that I had, it really posed a big challenge because it was so far away from here in Princeton. So after a few years, I finally returned to Princeton as a full-time store manager of the now closed All-Star Rentals. Being closer to home really did allow me to serve my clients a whole lot better and to be able to be there supporting my technicians. Well, Calibre continued to grow over these years, especially as our marketing and referrals attracted new clients. But I really needed to be at the office full time, but I just wasn't ready to give up the security blanket of a full-time job. You know, you have the steady income, you have, benefits, you have, anything that happens, it's like, okay, I've got this full-time job that I can fall back on. Well, one day, unbeknownst to me, Brad, who was the district manager, called me up to his office, and he informed me that I was being let go immediately. It kind of took me by surprise, but it was really the shove that I needed to put me out and say, okay, this is a time to make it happen. Now was my opportunity to be free, to be my own boss, and to really pursue my dream of building a business that focused on serving you, our clients, in the best way possible. Now, just in case you're wondering, Brad and I parted on really good terms, and we're still great friends to this day. Now, at this point in time, a lot of people would look at getting fired or let go from their job as this horrible thing. But for me, it gave me the sink or swim decision. And so I was like, I'm not sinking. So I hunkered down, I expanded my knowledge and skills in technology, in business operations, and marketing. And I'm proud to report, obviously through this video, that Calibre is still going strong 10 years later. Now, over these past 10 years, we all know that technology has dramatically changed. Whenever I first started out in this computer business back in 2004, most of our computer users had Windows XP machines, which of course is now no longer being supported by Microsoft. Now, some of our computer users still had Windows Millennium Edition, that wonderful operating system that Microsoft really doesn't even admit to creating. Thankfully, that one's gone by the wayside. So we've seen, Windows Millennium Edition, Windows XP, which was pretty stable, a good operating system. Some of you may even still be running it on your computers. And then we went through Windows Vista. That was kind of another one that Microsoft really kind of bungled on the evolution of that product. And then we all rejoiced at the release of Windows 7. And then now we're crying at the miserable failure of Windows 8 and Windows 8.1. So, we've kind of seen this whole evolution of operating systems in this 10 years, a short period of time, but we've seen like 5 or 6 different operating systems in that period. Now, back in 2001, 3 years before Calibre started, Apple debuted its iPod player, the small little devices. And throughout the following 13 years now, it's become the de facto brand of the portable music player. Almost everybody calls their portable music player an iPod, whether it really is or not. Of course, over these past 10 years, cybersecurity threats have drastically increased as well. It requires more diligence than ever by computer users to help keep your personal information secure and safe on your computer system, whether that's from virus infections, hackers, or whatever that it might be. Also, email has proliferated along with spam messages. Way back in 2004 is when Google released the Gmail service, the free email, which was the answer to Microsoft's Hotmail and the Yahoo Mail. And now, Google and Gmail has one of the top free email services in the world. Now, had you asked 10 years ago, Scott, can you imagine what you would be doing 10 years from now? My answer would have been no. Am I pleased with where we're at? Absolutely. Do we have a lot of great things coming up in the future? Yes, we do. And it's been an amazing journey. I'm glad that you've been there for us, whether you've been a client of ours for a few days, a few weeks, or even the entire 10 years. And I'm really looking forward to what the next 10 years are going to bring. For more helpful computer tips and information, visit calibreforhome.com. Also, please share this video with your friends and family.